all my bookish angels. It's your girl Maddie, and I'm back here with the Chaotic Book Lovers podcast. And we have actually a feature today. So I do have a guest on the podcast, and she's going to be here the entire podcast. We're going to just talk and talk and talk and talk about books. And she's actually one of my best friends. We work together for Puanagi, and I just think you guys should go ahead and give a nice warm welcome to my friend Liz here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Liz.
Hi, my name is Liz, but my real name is actually Eliza. Um, I love books a lot. I have TikTok. You can follow me at Lizzy.12K, and you can also follow me on my Roblox, which is Angel Love with a bunch of 4 zeros and a 7. So yeah, that's me. Hi.
Period. So, Liz, I brought you on my podcast today because me and you have a lot of similar book interests and a lot of the same opinions on a lot of books. And I was like, well, I'm gonna bring this girl on my podcast because, period, like we might see eye to eye.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I'm
yeah,
happy to
so
be here.
I am glad you said, and I want you guys to know this was so last minute. I asked her last night, and she was like, "Yeah, we can like do this tomorrow," and I was like, "Oh, period."
I have nothing else to do.
Well, summer's here, so I guess we're all free nowadays. So yeah,
Exactly.
I had first question, are you currently reading any books?
I am currently not reading any books at the moment. I have been going to different bookstores trying to find books because your girl can't find a book that
Ooh,
she likes. So we're going to different bookstores to go find a book that I would like.
ooh. Well, what kind of book are you looking for?
Well, I'm kind of looking for I would say I normally for books. I love graphic novels, but um I kind of want to find a book that has to do with like African American history wise, um, and like a book and it's telling stories of different kids who grew up in the 1960s and what was it like, that kind of stuff. I love those type of books because you get to learn more about a person that way. So I think it's very cool.
That's actually very true. One that I have on my shelf right now that I haven't started yet is Hidden Figures. Um,
Oh, I have read some of that book. That book is actually really good, and I have watched the movie. I do encourage you watching that movie.
it's by Margaret Lee Shetterly, I think. Like it's all the
Oh,
way over there on my shelf. So like I like
she, she's a good author. She really is.
she is. I cannot wait to dive
Yeah,
into that book.
she's a very good author.
Yeah, I cannot wait to dive into that book. Like I really, really want to dive into that book.
Yes, I 100% recommend you looking at that book. It's so educational. I think that a lot of young African American women should also learn about that type of book. So I think it is very important that you read it, and it's also interesting to learn.
Yes, I would agree, especially since it's like I don't know if it's necessarily an autobiography. Maybe it's just like a normal biography explaining things from like past and culture. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So like what was the last book you read and what did you rate it? Like how good was it?
Um, what was the last book I read? Um, you know, that's a good question. This has been a minute. Um, I think the last book I read, oh, it's called Piercing Me Together. Um, it was by this lady, and it was talking about this girl, who is going through a difficult life because she considers herself to live in like the ghetto. That's what she considers it as. Um, and this was more during the 1960s, of course, when um it was segregation was still around a little bit. Um, and this girl is trying to learn more about getting a good job and having a bright future. And so she goes through different mentors to bring her life together. And she had a lot of joined a lot of black groups in order to learn about herself, her culture, and the way how the way revolves around people like her. So it's a very good book. I recommend reading it. It's really like you really get to learn in depth other about other people, especially in African American history. That is very important. Um, and her mom talked about how she lived a hard life and she works 9 to 5 and working as a maid, working at restaurants. Um, so I think um, she's trying to find different ways to put food on the table, trying different ways to make money, and she wants her daughter to live a good life, but she doesn't. It's this one specific job that this girl wanted to do, but her mom doesn't think it's gonna put food on the table or pay the bills. So she's trying to find ways to help her mom out, but she also wants to follow her passion. So that book is basically encouraging people to go after your dreams. At least give it a shot. Don't stop when it gets hard. Keep going. Don't keep going until the very end because you never know how far it might get you.
Hold on, hang on 1 second. Hold on. Okay.
That was a
So
very
that
long
actually
pause.
sounds like a very good book. And I think I might have to put that one on my TBR. Like I might have to get that book because that sounds actually really interesting. Is it based off of true stories like fiction?
It's historical fiction.
Oh, period. Usually I don't like
But I mean,
historical
it's probably
fictions.
happened to other people in certain different ages. I'm pretty sure it probably happened to other people. We never know.
Very true. Um, I usually don't read historical fictions, but the way you described it makes it sound so interesting. So I might have to put that one on my TBR. That
Yes,
one might be on my list.
it's really good.
I literally right before like we started filming, I was um reading Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is the second book in the Good Girl Guide to Murder series. And I'm literally on the last chapter and like it went like from dark to really sad really quick. I'll just say
Oh
that. And
wow.
I can't say too much because everything that makes this so good refers back to the first book and it would spoil the first and the second book. So, but the
Mhm.
book is so good. Like the plot twists are plot twisting.
It's just stirring the pot.
Yes. Like honestly, I have been in the most major thriller book mood because I went to the library the other day with my friend and I literally got One of Us is Lying, The Reappearance of Rachel Price, Murder Trending, and Liar's Beach, which are four thriller books. And I only got like three romances, I want to say. And I've been in a major thriller era right now.
Yeah, I totally understand. That sounds like a really good book.
What it is. I'm so sad because the book is almost over.
Oh yeah, we hate when certain books come to an end because you want to learn more about it. Like,
Yes, I'm
give
learning
me
what
more.
happens after. But thankfully there's a third book, so I need to go get that. But I don't know where people expect me to get this money from because Barnes and Noble is expensive. And because there was there was a book that I got from Barnes and Noble, Love and Luck, which is the second book in another series. Got it for $10 there, but if I went on Amazon, I could have got it for $5. But I
Oh,
was like, I
so
just like
that's
the
a good bargain.
yes, but sometimes when Amazon sends them, they send them damaged, and it's like, I like being in Barnes& and Noble and being able to choose the perfect copy for me. Like,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah.
So, did you do you have any books that you really, really, really want to read, but like you haven't started yet, or you don't have the time to, or like you haven't seen anywhere you could get it?
Um, I have looked at some books that I've wanted to read. We've talked about this prior before. If you know the author of Icebreaker, then you definitely know who I'm talking about. Um, I have wanted to read Wildfire, and that's the one I wanted
I mean, period.
to read.
Period, period, period.
And that's all. Period.
And that's on
But
double, that's on triple period.
I kind of also want to talk about this topic a little bit because I think it's not talked about enough. So in schools, they have books, and of course, there's some books that are banned in certain libraries of certain schools. But most of the libraries are banning history books, not just any history books. I'm talking about African American history books. And I feel like that's very unacceptable at some point because I feel like they're trying to get rid of history. They're trying to shove away history that people don't want to talk about. But then also too, they put the Black history books at the bottom of the shelf where people don't even that. They put that at the bottom purposely so people don't have to go down there and read it. It needs to be on the higher shelf. Like people need to open their eyes and see it because at some point that it's gonna have to be revealed either way. It doesn't matter. But people keep shoving it under the carpet and not wanting people to know about certain stuff. Like people need to know about that. People need to know what history is going on. People need to know what was life like. And I think that's important for kids now and for people like older than us need to know about, and they probably don't even know about it. So I think people need to learn about African American history a lot. I know I'm talking about it a lot, but it is so important. I could you not. It is so important that people need to know about this stuff because this will affect our future and affect the next generation. So I just wanted to clear that because I think that is very important.
I agree. And I've seen that happen not just in school libraries, but like really a lot of libraries that I go to now. It'll either be at the bottom of the shelf or they'll put it in the way, way back of the history section, even if it's not in the alphabetical order that they usually keep stuff in.
Right, right. It's very upsetting why people would just do stuff like that. Why don't you put it higher? Like, are you ashamed that we're gonna find out about it?
Because we're gonna
Because
find out one way or another.
they're gonna find out either way. So I don't really care if you're ashamed about it or not. We're gonna learn about it, and it's important. So it's best if we learn about it. You can be ashamed all you want, but that does not mean that we can't read it.
Plus,
I'm
the
just
internet
saying.
exists now. The internet exists now. So if you're worried about people learning it, then it doesn't change a thing. Because if one person gets curious and they can't find it at the library, they're gonna go to the internet. The internet's gonna be their next
Exactly.
best bet. Amazon is gonna be their next best
Amazon.
bet.
Go to them bookstores. Try. You're gonna find anything. You're gonna dig down deep just to find out what you want. It's hard. It really is, honestly. But that's why we need to put those types of books up on the top shelf where they belong with the rest of the history books.
Period. And you're speaking a lot of truth. Like, I don't think I've ever talked about this on my podcast before, and I feel I really need to, but like at the same time, it's like every time I go to do it, I always forget instantly about it, which isn't a good thing. But like I told you before, I'm not big on like history books, but like I acknowledge it's
Yeah,
there and I'm appreciative for it for other people. I'm not big on history books. I'm more like the thriller romance type person. So it's like I feel like I
yeah,
should be talking about it, but it's like I don't know enough to talk about it. And that's my only problem.
yeah. Everybody has different types of interests in books. Some people might like for you like thrillers and romance books. Like for me, I like history books and graphic novels. But um everybody has different books, but you have to like pick at it a little bit. Get a little taste of different types of books, and you might never know, you might find a book that you actually like, and it might not be according to your taste. You never know.
I agree. Like the book you were talking about earlier, it sounded so good, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this is like historical fiction." I'm like, "Wait, did you just say historical?" And I'm like, "Wait, that like, cause look, that kind of sounds good."
Yeah, it's really something. I think it would be so fun for people to learn about, even if it's historical fiction or non-historical fiction. Either way, you're still reading about history. Either way.
Yeah, I feel like Liz, I can learn a lot from you, girl. I learn a lot from you every day. Like when we're filming, to like when we're just talking, when we're just chatting, it's like I learn a lot just specifically from our conversations. And I feel like that's also a good reason that I brought you on my podcast because you help people learn so clearly without it being confusing. I feel like I just said the same thing twice, but I said so clearly without it being confusing. That kind of was confusing.
It's okay. I learned a lot from you as well, learning the different things. See, like when I first learned about you, I did not know that you liked books. That was the first thing. I had no idea until I learned some people need to learn to talk to people. You know, get a little get try to know them a little bit. You can talk on certain topics, like try to make things interesting. It might not think it might be interesting. You learn a lot from people. You just have to
Yes.
take the time to listen.
But I do think we're gonna go ahead and what am I saying? I think we're gonna go ahead and end off the episode here. Did you have any other words that you wanted to say before, we did the outro?
Uh, Words of motivation. Try, try, because you never know where it's gonna take you. That's your inspirational vitamin for today.
Well, thank you for our special inspiration, Liz. Um, I think we're gonna go
So
ahead and end off
welcome.
here. So thank you, my bookish angels, for listening to another episode of the Chaotic Book Lovers podcast. I'll see you all whenever I see you all because I usually just upload random episodes in the most random parts of the day. But that's okay. But that's the end. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. Be safe out there because the world is crazy, as we all know. So thank you all for listening to the episode, and I guess I'll see you guys whenever I see you.